today. Oh, hang on a sec. I'll just move this stone out of the way. And welcome back to Dan's Bar to a very special Easter episode where we're going to be making a bitter temptation. I thought it only right where after moving our big stone out of the way, we'd have some bitter temptation that's just going to be topped with some bread and butter wine. I thought we'd get all the different things together of the Easter traditions that we could, hopefully in a non-offensive way. So the bitter temptation is going to be half an ounce of Fernet, half an ounce of Creme de Cacao, 1 ounce of cold brew coffee or Mr. Black, whatever one you happen to have. This is going to give it a bit more of a kick, but I don't happen to have any cold brew, so we're using Mr. Black. And a little bit of either vanilla syrup or I'm using vanilla extract because I don't happen to have any vanilla syrup. Putting all those together, get them nice and cold onto a rocks glass and then with a little float of about 1 ounce of a red wine. And of course, bread and wine, our daily bread and butter wine. Thought it was a clever joke. Got the wine purely because of the name. It's actually supposed to be a lambrusco, like a kind of a fizzy, lighter red wine, but I had to go with the name. And then a little bit of blood orange just to give us some nice color and some a little bit more fruity notes to complement the kind of bitter, sweet, savory factors we have going on in the drink. Now, this is going to be a really good drink after a big meal or if you're kind of relaxing in the evening. It's going to be dark, so if you're wearing light clothes, as we can now that it's spring, be careful because dark things will not look great on that. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do half an ounce of a Fernet Branca. And this one, the original recipe I found said about 3/4 of an ounce of this one, and I found it was a bit too much, so we're only going to do half an ounce just to make sure it doesn't overpower the other flavors. We're using our very good Creme de Cacao, which has some vanilla notes in there as well. It's really nice and tasty. It's got a lot of character, a lot more depth than your average Creme de Cacao, but as always, use whatever you want. The vanilla notes in here are also going to nicely complement the little splash of vanilla extract we're also going to use, or if you have a vanilla syrup, also going to be solid. Go ahead and put those two in, and then we'll do 1 ounce of our Mr. Black or cold brew coffee, whatever you happen to have. All will be delicious. 1 ounce of that, and if you do use cold brew, keep in mind an after dinner drink. There's caffeine in there. Gotta make sure you get your night's sleep, so you don't want to over caffeinate too late at night. Alright, so we're going to put in our cold brew substitute, and then we're just going to put in a splash of vanilla extract, just for that additional vanilla flavor. If you use a vanilla syrup, it'll also have some more sweetness to it, so if you want some more sweetness, maybe throw in some simple syrup as well if you don't have a vanilla syrup. Otherwise, vanilla extract I think is going to work just fine. So we'll go ahead and give that a stir, decant, layer, and try. All right, that's nice and cold. We'll go ahead and pour that into our glass with one giant rock in it. Got to have that nice chilling factor without diluting it too much. So go ahead and pour that in. Ooh, that looks nice. And we're gonna have just the right amount on top for that 1 ounce float of the red wine to give it some nice contrast. So that's gonna be delightful. And now that we've got that in, we're gonna open up our wine and do a float. Now for wine, one thing that's always bothered me is whenever you open a wine bottle, you usually cut around the foil, and you end up with this foil that always is I don't know. I think it doesn't look great. So with most bottles, what you can do is grab it and just pull it off, and it's actually clean. You can see the whole thing. So that's my recommendation. Obviously, if you're at a restaurant, you don't want to have somebody actually manhandling the top of it, so that's understandable that waiters can't do that. But when you're at home, it really doesn't matter. You're the one that's going to be drinking it anyway. Let's see how it goes trying to open a bottle of wine at eye level. I think this might end poorly, but we'll find out. Also, the waiter's corkscrew with a double lever action, always recommended, because then you get that double leverage to you. Eye level, and it worked. So we have our red wine ready to go. No corkage. Artificial cork, it wouldn't happen anyway. Another thing, drop stops, little metal foil-y looking thing, put that in, and it does in fact stop your drops. All these little tidbits you never thought you needed to know. You probably didn't, but you know anyway now. So we'll go ahead and put about 1 ounce floating right at the top of that off of our spoon. We have that nice separation. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, that layered color is gorgeous. All right. Oh, that looks really cool. All right, I'm gonna have to pause this for a hot sec to get a picture of that, because that by itself looks really cool. So now you can see here how cool that looks. Isn't that awesome? Got a nice little separation there. Oh, freaking love that. All right, so we have that. We're gonna go ahead and throw in a garnish of a little bit of slice of a blood orange. Give it that nice color to complement our wine. See if we can get that to slot in at just the right point behind our big cubicle ice cube. There we go, come on, get in there. Yeah, perfect. And there we have our bitter temptation just for Easter. See how it tastes. At the moment it tastes like wine. Let me give that a quick stir. Let's give that another try now, shall we? Ooh. So if you like Fernet, this is gonna knock your socks off, because it has that Fernet, which has these kind of herbaceous tones, but the chocolate and vanilla undertones bring out a whole new level of depth of character from that. And the coffee with the acid combines with the Fernet, the herbal characteristics. That's really good. And then the fruitiness of the wine brings out the chocolate in the Creme de Cacao, and wine and coffee also really go well together, like fruit and chocolate. It's a good one. Speaking of fruit and chocolate, it wouldn't be Easter without having a chocolate rabbit. Incidentally, rabbits were brought into the Easter tradition because of pagan holidays for fertility. Too glad you knew that? So now we have our chocolate that I think we have to eat too, so let's see if we can get this done. Ha! It worked! Chocolate rabbit. I bit off more than I could chew. Well, I hope you have a wonderful Easter. I hope you're safely seeing family, doing all the things that you enjoy doing, all your traditions. And until we drink again, cheers.